Okay, Parshas Yisro, Tavshin Pei Daled. Um, okay, so we're gonna just basically jump through a whole bunch of small things that are big things, but quite quick, but just important ideas. And then if there's time, we'll say something a little more involved at the end. So just to bring to your attention, very important, when Yisro turns around to Moshe and says to him, "What are you doing? You're gonna, this isn't good. You're gonna overwhelm yourself, not Beseda." Moshe's response was, "Look, I'm teaching the people. They're asking me all these inyanim, and I'm working it out for them." And what he says is moedik. He says, "V'yomer Moshe l'choisnoi." Moshe says to his father-in-law, Ki yavoy elai ha'am lidroish elokim, because the nation is coming to me, lidroish elokim, to search out God. But he just said they're just coming to find, they're just trying to work out the claims and to work out, tainas between this one and that one and different halachas. And this is really the most important thing that we could say, is that is Drishus Elokim. When we talk about searching for God, the ultimate searching for the Bodah Shalom is learning halacha. That really is. Everything else is nice and great, and we should do everything else as well. But to remember that Ikka Drishus Elokim is working out what he wants. It's like the difference, we've said this many times, with a person's wife, there's nothing like doing what she wants. If you're buying her flowers and yachts and taking her here, taking her there, but it's not mamash what she wants, you're missing the point. That's exactly what we're trying to do. So to find out, to search after Hashem is to be finding out what he wants, and then obviously to be doing what he wants. But that really, it can't be underestimated. We said that before. The idea of when it comes up to your wife's birthday, and for the few weeks before it, you're sweating and shaking and you're getting more and more tight about what am I going to do. And I said, imagine if her best friend came and just sat with you and just told you her deepest desires, to the things that she wants the most, to the most detailed you could ever get. You'd be on the edge of your seat. Just more, tell me more. Exactly. When you say black, you mean like mama's jet black, and what she wants it like glossy or matte, and you'll be trying to the more details you could find out, the better. That's Drisha Elokim, and that's what the Yidden were asking Moshe for. Okay. Next idea. So there's no real order to this, but in the third commandment, okay, so really the entire Torah is contained in Anochi Hashem, yeah. But if you want to get a little more detailed, the entire Torah is really contained in Anochi Hashem and Lo Yelecha. Okay, all the mitzvahs asay are in I am Hashem. The 248 mitzvahs, the Ramach mitzvahs asay, and the Shasa mitzvahs lo Sasay, 361 negative prohibitions are in Lo Yelecha, no idol worship. So l'choira, what's if the second if the first two mitzvahs are contain what's interesting contain contain the entire Torah, what's the third? You know what I'm saying? We got 10 commandments. Yeah, we got a series of dibros. The first two contain the Torah. So what's the third one about? So really the third one, Shalom Eli, really the third of the series of dibros is coming to paint the picture of reality. We know what Hashem wants. We know what Hashem doesn't want. Yeah, that's Anochi Hashem and Lo Yelecha. So Lo Sisa Es Hashem. What does it mean? Lo Sisa Hashem Hashem Elokecha. Don't take God's name in vain. Yeah, and what that means is don't swear by God's name something that's like stupid, whatever it is. So listen to what Rashi says. Rashi says, Leshava, yeah, chinam. When it says don't take Hashem's name Leshav for nothingness, it means chinam freely, lehevel for nothingness. Those are Shavua Shav. What's the example of Shavua Shav? Listen to this. Nishba l'shanos es hiyadua. He's making a vow to change what is known. And then Rashi gives the example. Al amud shel evan shehu shel zav. He looks at a pillar of stone and he swears that it's a pillar of gold. How's that the key to fulfilling the entire Torah? Hashem told us what the Torah is in Anoichi Hashem and Lo Yelecha. Then he says, don't take my name in vain, meaning don't make an empty vow. And Rashi says, by looking at a pillar of stone and declaring it a pillar of gold. Isn't that a little bit like kind of making your business a little more choshev than it really is? Or isn't that the idea of like taking your cause and making it really, really choshev? The whole point is, look at this world. Stone is stone, yeah? Everything's as it is. Like Rashi says, you can't swear to change what is known, hayadua, what is known. So you can't look at a pillar of stone and assign it more value than what it has. The world is the world. That's what it is. The only value anything has in this world is how it relates to Avodas Hashem. Hashem's opinion on that is what gives it chashivas. Nothing has chashivas otherwise. And that's the third of the Seres Adibros. Don't look at an amud of stone and call it an amud of zav. Don't make this world more choshev. Don't put your shtick on this world. Make sure you're constantly resetting yourself. And the benchmark is, what does the Rebbeinu Shalom say? Not what do I think. What does the Rebbeinu Shalom say? Not what does the world say. What does the Rebbeinu Shalom say? And it could be maybe sometimes they're in correspondence with each other, they're aligned with each other, but most of the time they're not. Most of the time they're not. That is the foundation of being Makayim the entire Torah. Is don't put your shtick on this world. You know Yom Tov Glazer, you know Rabbi Glazer? Yeah, you've been to his Possible You did his Possible You seminar?
No, but I've listened to a lot of his YouTube shiurim.
So this is really the message of the Possible You is don't turn things into what they're not. And this is so helpful for relationships. So just for example, something that I realized very recently is, you know how easy it is, you know, if your wife doesn't say thank you for something that you do, or she doesn't recognize something that you did that was she should have recognized. And it's very easy to get offended. But really, you know that she wasn't doing it with any kind of malicious, there was no, you know, there's no reason to be offended. You want to be offended. But really, when you even it out and you're not putting your shtick in and you're like, oh, she doesn't appreciate this, and you start putting all your shtick on it, yeah? That's what we do for everything. That's mamash what we do for everything. So the third of the commandments is don't put your shtick on it. Constantly be resetting yourself. Work out what's reality and what is it that you're putting on reality, which is called a shavua shav. That's called making a vow on something that isn't there. Changing what's known, changing what is true. Okay, that's the key to the entire Torah. Okay, another idea. Again, like I said, I'm just throwing out ideas. So the it talks about Anshe Chayil. When it says Yisro says you need to appoint these very choshev people to adjudicate whatever. And the Lashon in the text is they should be Anshei Chayil. Yeah, it means like men of Chayil, like Choshev men. And just a very interesting Ramban Kodesh on the Parsha, he defines that as Chochem, Zoriz, V'Yosha. I'll explain it. In the Gemara it says Tashma. In the Zohar Kodesh it says Tachazi, come and see. Chazi, yeah? Spelled Ches Zayin Yud. This is just a way of remembering it. So the Ramban Kodesh says that he basically describes what it means chashivas as being a chochem, a zoriz, and a yosha. Yeah, wise, whatever that means, zoriz, which is again the translation for that word, and yosha, straight. So if you want to remember 3 traits that we're trying to aspire to always, whatever they mean to you, Chochem, Zoriz, Yosha. Very important idea. Okay, so this is a little bit of a longer idea.
Is the Zoriz, is that like Zrizas, like enthusiasm?
Exactly, yeah. You should have Chochma be Bezrizus and be Yosha, straight. Those 3, and you remember it by Tachozi. Chochem, Zoriz, Yosha. Okay. You remember in the Parsha, it uses an interesting word. It says v'yached v'yichad Yisroi al kol hatoiva. It uses the word v'yichad. It's a famous thing. It means really he was besimchadik. The words chad from Lashon. I mean, it says it's Aramaic. V'yichad Yisro al kol hatoiva, and the basic translation is, and Yisro is very besimcha on all of the toiv, asher asa Hashem Yisrael, that Hashem did for Yisrael, asher etzilo miyad Mitzrayim, that He saved us from Mitzrayim. Rashi says, v'yachad Yisroi, v'yismach Yisroi. He was happy, v'yismach Yisroi. Zeh pshuto, that's the Pasuk Pshat. The Midrashim Omrim, nase bisroi, listen to this, nase bisroi chidudin. Meitzeh al Ibn Mitzvah. He got goose flesh. In England, you call it goosebumps. In America, you call it goose flesh. Yeah, when you're cold and your skin gets all prickly. Yeah, that's what it meant. He like tingled so much from what happened that his skin became bumpy. It's interesting because the lashon is v'yached, yeah, which is lashon echad. What does it? I mean, it means simcha, and then it says that his flesh got all bumpy. Why would it be that this idea of unity caused this endless bumps on his skin? Imagine how many bumps. If you had to count up the bumps, how many it would be? Endless bumps. What's the kesher between the yached, the unity, and all of these, the multiplicity, the riboy of the bumps on his skin? So another question as well, which is interesting, is when it says that we camped at Har Sinai, it says V'yachen Sham Yisrael, that we camped. It says in singular, and then possibly one of the most famous rushes in the Chumash, he says V'yachen Sham Yisrael ke'ish echad b'leiv echad, like one man with one heart. Yeah, you know the Rashi. Ke'ish echad b'leiv echad. What's the inyan of leiv echad? Why do you have to say ke'ish echad b'leiv echad? Why can't you just say b'ish echad? You ever met a guy with more than one heart? What's Rashi coming to add by saying, you say we camp like one man, ish echad, because every man has one heart. Ke'ish echad b'leiv echad. You hear the question? What does that add? Okay. And another
question. Are you basically saying that it's like a kfilas lashon, or
what?
Is it? Is the question why the kfilas lashon? Like, why is it saying it twice, or is the question what's the differentiation between the two?
Well, it's 2 separate things. L'chayra, one man with one heart, but every man has one heart. Is there such a thing as a man without one heart? L'chayra, there has to be. Because ish echad kelev echad. So Rashi is saying that there's such a matzav where there's a man with two hearts.
Maybe it doesn't mean literally two hearts. It means that like somebody falling for a desire, yet feeling guilty about it, right? Maybe that's what it means. Like your heart is somewhere else. You heard that term, so maybe it doesn't mean literally.
That is exactly the point. That's exactly the point. Is that a man can be one man with two opposite. Like the guy likes to work out, and he also likes to eat pizza. Yeah. Or he loves his wife and he's got other things going on as well. Rahman al-Islam. Yeah, that would be the inyan of two hearts. Yeah, where you're not unified. What's the first thing the Ramchal says in Mesilas Yesharim? He says the first thing we have to do is work out our choiv in this world. That's called, we have to clarify why we're here. And it always comes down to a unity, a singularity. Now that singularity, and this is the reason why it says V'yachid Yisroi, that the singularity became goosebumps on his skin. That singularity can transpose into endless things on an external level. Let's say, for example, a guy is hell-bent on money, yeah? All he cares about is money, yeah? How many different behaviors will flow from that? Endless different behaviors. Countless different behaviors will flow from that one unified inyan of wanting money. Yisro also has 7 names as well. It's interesting. We don't know of anybody with as many names as Yisro. And Rashi points that out very importantly, that Yisro had all these, and he goes through them. Choyvev, Yesser, Yisro, Ruel, all of these different names, he speaks them all out. What's this inyan of having lots of names? Like Hashem also has lots of names. But Hashem's Echad. We have Havaya, Elokim, Kael, Shakai, Ka, all of these different names. What's the inyan? And this is exactly the point we're trying to bring out. Ke'ish echad b'lev echad is an ish. A man is composed of lots of different parts. You have, on a spiritual, you have your intellect, your seichel, you have your midas, you have your behavior, and then physically you have your arms and your legs and your goof and your head, your hair. You're made up of all different parts. But the lev echad is the panemius of the ish, meaning we were all bound up together with one purpose. We had become so clear on reality that we didn't have our business and our family and our kids and our tivers and our etc. It was just a Avodah Sholem. That was the lev echad. Now that means that we have our business and we have our family and we have our kids and we have all of the different parts of our life, but it's unified. And that's why Yisro's skin was bumpy. It was showing us this, that a unified internal, when you become unified inside and you become of one purpose, on the external level, that will appear like endless bumps, so to speak. And this is the concept of a poshet yid. What does it mean, a poshet yid? You heard the expression, yeah? Simple yid. Poshet. What does it actually mean, poshet? Lahafshit. You know what the word lahafshit means? To take off your clothes. Lahafshit is to take off your clothes. A poshet yid is referring to this phenomenon, this beautiful experience where the guy's poshet, meaning he's one, he's internally one. He's not divided between my life and I'm not trying to fit Avodas Hashem into my life. There aren't two things going on. There's not me and God. There's just the Avodah Sholem. So a poshet yid is somebody who's, so to speak, has removed the clothing, because the clothing is always complex. Like, look how clothing is made. If you look at your clothing, how many fibers are there in your t-shirt, in your jacket? The whole inyan of clothing is it's comprised of endless fibers and threads and strings, etc. Yeah. but the person internally is one. And that's the inyan of lahafshit, of a pashata yid. And that's also the idea of a shofet. A shofet is the same oisius as pashat. What does a shofet do? A shofet is machriya. A shofet has a whole bunch of different things in front of him, and he works it out. He makes it simple. He brings it down to one idea. And that's the inyan of machaba patish. Patish is also the same oisius as Peishin Tes. That the machaba patish is the completion, the thing that finishes the whole thing. It's all the same inyan. All the same inyan. Okay, we're going to say this very quickly and then I have to go. The Aseret Dibros. Okay, everyone's with me? Got another 5 minutes? Okay, so this is a bit intense, but we'll say it quick. This we could give for sure a whole show on this. Okay, we have Anoichi Hashem, Lo Yelecha, Lo Sisa, Zochres, Kabedes. So we have 2 luchos. We have, and we know the basic breakdown. Hey Cole, how you doing? You know how many dibros there are? Cole, you know how many dibros?
No,
You don't know?
no.
I bet you do. We have 10. But we have 5 and 5. That's what we're talking about. So the first 5 is Bein Adam L'Makom, between us and Hashem. And the second 5 is Bein Adam L'Chaveiro, between man and his fellow man. Okay? So we know that the end of a list in Torah always comprises the entire list. So we have somehow kibbud of aim encapsulates all of the Bein Adam L'Makom, which is weird because that's like the only one on the list that isn't apparently Bein Adam L'Makom, isn't obviously Bein Adam L'Makom. Then we have Lo Sachmoid, don't cover. What's a better word than cover? It's not a bad word. Don't be jealous of, or something like that. Don't be jealous of your neighbor.
Rabbi, are you saying that the last commandment on each list is the recap of that side? Why are you assuming that?
That's a klal. Always the end of a list encapsulates the entire list.
Where does that say that klal?
Well, the klal is in the spheres that Malchus is the receptacle for all the meters above it. So Chochmah Bina Das Chesed V'Tferes Netzach Yod Yisod, they are all within Malchus. It's a klal in Torah Bechlal that the last of a list always like the number 10 is composed of the 9 before it. That's the inyan of the number 10. It's koilel. So that's the inyan, is that the end of a list is koilel. It's koilel everything. Everything is nichlal in that.
You have kibbud av on one side, and then you have not to covet, not to be jealous on the other side. Okay.
Exactly. We've said before, this corresponds to what Paro said. Paro said, "Ayoeli, the Nile belongs to me. Va'ani asisisani, and I made myself." This is the statement of the Klippa. Paro said, "I own the Nile, and I made myself." Kibbud av aim comes to say, you didn't make yourself. You have a creator. That is the foundation of Bein Adam L'Makom. Your relationship to Hashem is predicated on the fact that He made you. And just like if you made something, like we've said before, let's say you make yourself a printer for your computer. Would you ever expect your printer to do anything other than what you created it to do? Absolutely not. That is the foundation of Bein Adam L'Makom, that you have a creator, that you are created. And the foundation of Bein Adam L'Chaveiroi, Lo Sachmoid, which goes against Paro saying that I own the Nile, is that everything belongs, or everything's bahashgacha, everything belongs to Hashem, however it is, that there's no, the inyan of being jealous of another human being is completely off. That all of it is predicated, your Bein Adam Chaveroi is predicated on the fact that your relationship to people is in context of Torah. It's not that they are realities in themselves, so to speak. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous of anyone. Why wouldn't you be jealous of them? Because everything is dictated by the Rebbeinu Shalom. This guy's house looks like this. This guy's wife looks like that. This guy's servant looks like that. Why are you jealous? Meaning that got dictated by the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's the inyan of hashgacha pratis. That got what? Why would you be jealous of that? That's his wife. That's not your wife. That's his car. That's not your car. What's there to be jealous of? It's got nothing to do with you. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. So just to quickly finish off now, again, like I said, we could spend a lot of time on this. So we've got the 5 and the 5, yeah? But they also correspond this way. So Anoichi Hashem corresponds to Lo Sirtzach, don't murder. And Lo Yelecha corresponds to Lo Sinaf, don't commit adultery. So we'll just very quickly explain the kesher. Like we said, we can spend a whole show on this, but just very quickly. Anoichi Hashem, yeah, Lo Sirtzach, and don't murder. The ultimate statement of selfishness is taking the life of another person. Anoichi Hashem means that you are not a reality unto yourself. Yeah, Rebbeinu Shalom is real. You are not God. Taking the life of another person is playing God. Asur. That's the kesher between Anoichi Hashem and don't murder. Okay, Lo Yelecha, don't have any other gods, idol worship, and adultery. Kiyudua. Yeah, having other gods is tantamount to a forbidden relationship. Man's in a relationship with his wife, having relations with another woman, that's considered idolatry. Is you're having a relationship with another, yeah, not Beseda. Loisisa, don't take Hashem's name in vain. What's that got to do with Loisignov? Don't steal. So there's a big point, but don't steal. The actual mitzvah is don't kidnap. That's really what it means. Don't take the body of another. The Shem Hashem, so to speak, is like Hashem's body. Kivyochel. That's the name. That's what it means, Shem Hashem. Yeah, like this world is called the Shem Hashem, and we're trying to make a yichud between Hashem Echad and Shmoy Echad, between him and his name. That's like the relationship of a man and wife, of like soul and body. So the third mitzvah is don't steal the body of a human being. That means don't take the name, don't take Hashem, don't lift up Hashem's name, meaning don't dislocate his name from him. This world doesn't have any ontological meaning unto itself. It's not an independent reality. Don't lift it up, like we said before, loisisa. Don't give chashivas to something that isn't choshev. That's what this means. And then to finish off, we have Zocha es Yom Shabbos and loisane, which means don't give false witness. Shabbos is the ultimate edus, yeah, where we give edus to Hashem, yeah, where we bear testimony to the fact that He made Shemayim va'aretz. So don't give false testimony. Don't lie. They're kashor to each other. And then finally, this is a very deep one. Kabed es avicha ve'esimecha. Kibud ava'im and lo sachmoid. Don't be jealous of anyone, because you could argue that your parents, I mean, from your parents, really your entire life stems, both your nature and your nurture. The ultimate level of lo sachmoid would really be feeling kind of gypped by the parents that you were given. You know what I mean? People don't always get given the best parents, yeah? And that, from my experience, is the source of a lot of tsar for people. People get very that's very difficult for people. The fact that their parents weren't the best parents, but you have to remember that the parents you got given, no matter how bad they were the right parents for you. That's a crazy thing to hear when you hear about the kind of abuse and the kind of crazy things that parents can do to their kids. But to know that that was exactly, no one can do anything to you outside of what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants them to do to you. So that's the ultimate level of lo sachmoid, for a person to be b'shleimus with his parents. You understand? Okay, so that's Parshas Yisro in a nutshell. Say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
Good Shabbos.
And that gives you something to say over your Shabbos Tish. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Okay.
Yeah.